Pat, we know, and all the veterans died for, we know that the Democrats are for this, but the Republicans seem to be leading this, even though it's going to lose them control of the House and maybe even the Senate, or the Senate, maybe even the House. I mean, we're seeing this unfold, and George Bush continues to try to spin it with doublespeak, saying, oh, no, my guest worker program is an amnesty, but you read the plan, as you mentioned, the Kennedy plan that Bush has been supporting, it's blanket, total amnesty, and in the SPP.gov agreement signed last March in Waco, Texas, it says that we're going to have an American ID card in North America, and all the Mexicans and Canadians will instantly be legalized. Well,
that's the instrument by which the nations are welded together is the NAFTA superhighway, coming up from Lázaro Cárdenas port all the way up through the United States into Canada. And people don't, they bring the containers in from China, and they bring them to a customs port, if you can believe it, in Kansas City.
That's how are Americans going to like the Mexican government running a large portion of that city?
Well, I think the American people are up in arms, but we cannot get any response from the government of the United States.
That's the thing. 97% of Texans that even just have a small glimpse of what the Trans-Texas Corridor is, the first leg of the NAFTA highways, 97% the Houston Chronicle poll are against it, 90% are against open borders, but 70% are against the Iraq war, but they don't care. The establishment just keeps moving forward, Pat. How do we demand the constitutional will of the people?
You know, the Constitution says, and it's explicit, that the government of the United States shall protect the states from invasion. Now, if 12 million people here illegally, 3 times the size of the American army in Europe after World War II, if that is not an invasion, and 6 million trying to break in on Bush's watch is not an invasion, I don't know what it is. But they refuse to do it. The president himself has said, look, I can't defend the borders unless you give me basically my guest worker program and my amnesty program.
And then you won't need to. Then you won't need
defend the borders.
Then you won't need to, because there won't be a border.
There's not going to be, exactly. If you do not get the border under control now, then the agenda of these people will be realized by default.
They know what they're doing, and, Pat, I hear some of the mainline conservative talk show hosts up there spinning it. They'll talk about the border problem, but then they won't go all the way and explain that it's headed up by George W. Neocon, more liberal than Bill Clinton. Pat,